Hey guys, as you can probably tell from the title here that this is what I think. This is basically what you've you've stumbled upon this either because you are a subscriber and you think, oh, Gabe's laser craziness, I wonder what he has to say about this, or that you've came upon this video really searching for an answer, and up till it's hard to find real good information, and to be honest, I can't give you 100%. I'm 90% sure that 90 is a pretty good odd, of course, but I'm 90% sure I've got everything here that is important for you to understand with lasers and the law. Now, first of all, what I want to go over is lasers in the United States is quite complex and quite difficult, as you can see by all this paperwork. Now, a lot of people will go on eBay and they'll find these laser projectors that are really powerful and that seem to have really good specs on them, but they're really cheap compared to X-laser products. Let's say an X-laser, a 1-watt X-laser could cost you $3,000–4,000, but a 1-watt on eBay could cost you $600. Why? Well, this is why. Other than the fact that these products on eBay are you drop them 2 inches and they break, or they come broken. Other than the fact that that might happen, is that they're completely illegal. They could be potentially insanely dangerous, and they could be bad for the crowd. So what really needs, if you want to get into the lasers in the United States, really buy a FDA approved laser. There's a few that I know that I can definitely confirm that are FDA approved. I'm 99% sure that KVANT laser projectors are approved. They're very expensive, very professional. And for the DJs, X-laser is definitely FDA approved, and all their stuff is FDA approved and good. Now, X-laser provides you with an easy variance kit and basically takes this and simplifies it for you, which is perfect. Sweet. But if you want to go into a little bit more in depth and figure out what this all means, continue watching this video. Now, I'm going to stop giving background information. We're going to come here. First of all, let's go into what laser companies have to do to get their lasers approved. First of all, if a laser company wants to create a laser for market, they are the manufacturer of that product. Now, for them, they need to create a projector that complies with all these stuff here. This is actually not even everything, because my printer died when I was printing this, and it didn't print all of it. But this is quite a bit of it. It has to work with that. Second, they have to fill out this, which is basically a report of the product. And according to Dan from X-Laser, when I talked to him at DJ Expo in Atlantic City, he said that they've spent over $100,000 with consultations and just trying to talk to these people and trying to get all their products approved. And that's a lot of money for these companies to spend to get them all approved. And he said that you'd think it was this easy to send it in, but he said this is bull. This doesn't really do anything for you. But this is how I can show you. It's a lot of work. It's not a piece of cake to do. Now, that's not relevant to someone who wants to just get into the laser business, who wants to just do laser light shows. First of all, if you're brand new to this, I encourage you to go and read this. This is the Laser Light Show Safety thing. It was written in June of 1980 and most recently revised in May of 1986. You might be thinking, that's 30-something years ago. That's crazy, Gabe. Why would I read that? Well, it's because it's good. It gives you a lot of definitions of words that they use throughout here. It just helps you out and helps you get started. I will say that some of this information here is no longer appropriate. Some of it is not right. Some of this, like the classes, have changed since this was written and revised, but this is definitely a helpful tool to get started. Now, let's say you have an FDA approved laser, and it's sitting right here, and you go, okay, now what? Well, first off, what you need to do, first off, you shouldn't have already gotten a laser, unless it's an X-laser. because you already have to have a variance before you buy your laser projector. This is the variance paperwork. Now it's about 3 sheets long. The 4th sheet is basically useless. It doesn't have anything to do with it. And this basically will go over everything that you'll have to do, where it's going to be, what kind of lasers you're using. I understand and explain just what I need to do. And this takes quite a long time for a turnaround on your things. I think about a year to 2 years you'll get a response, and then a little bit later you'll get it either approved or denied. And they usually only get denied if you don't have an FDA approved laser written in this thing. Only X Laser is the only company that can sell you a laser before you have your variance. Remember that. But X Laser really will just, you get this with their Easy Variance Kit. But that's what it is. Next, as far as I'm concerned, you need to, every time you do a show, there's 2 things you need to do. You need to give a show report. This is like, it's like 15 pages long, and it just goes through some stuff like your testing procedures. You want to give a full floor plan, operator, who's the operator, what's the controls, what kind of effects are you using, and you send this in. And I think that it doesn't really matter when you send it. It doesn't have to be in before, and then you have to review it before your show happens. You just have to send it each time you do a show. But that's that. Now, the next thing you have to worry about here is a checklist. Now, this is a sample checklist, and your checklist doesn't have to be exactly the same, but every time when you're actually on site for the show, you have to go through this checklist. Just safety procedures, again, who's doing the show, who's operating the show, all that kind of crazy stuff. Not crazy, but in this you can send in whenever, it doesn't matter. The same as the show report. The show report usually you'd want to fill out before you actually do the show, and this is you do on site. All right. Now next, every year that you have your variance, you have to fill out a annual report. Now the annual report's about 4 pages. This is a guide for filling out the annual report. The annual reports just kind of ask you of stuff that you've been doing, when have you been using it, how often have you been using it, just back to who you are and what you're doing, who's been your operators, and just like shows that you've done, and products and shows that you've done, and stuff like that. This is fairly standard, and you just send this in annually. I think you can send this in online, and so it's quicker and easier. And you might be able to send these online too. I'm not 100% sure though. Now the last thing is a little bit more advanced. If you ever want to do an open air show, which means if you have outside and you have, let's say, 3 laser projectors and you want to shoot them into this air. Now you may go, but Gabe, the planes are in the air. Well, that's true. And the FAA will not say no open air laser shows. They'll tell you that what you need to do. Now this 2 pieces of paper is the application for an open air show, basically. You fill out what they want, and it's actually pretty specific in a lot of crazy stuff, and that's why they created a guide. As you can see a pattern, they all have guides, because they are complicated. The guides are complicated themselves too, but they really actually do help a lot. This will tell you all the information you need. It gives you a lot of equations that they want, and what they'll do is they'll review this. This usually takes about 7 days to turn around, 7 to 10 days. They ask for at least 30 days, or at most 30 days, to give a turnaround on this. But usually 7 to 10 days, you'll get 7 to 10 business days, you'll get it back. What they'll do basically is they'll create a no-fly zone, basically, or a danger zone for that time of day, and for that time of day, that area, and so just planes are aware of this show. I'm not sure how often people get denied or how often people actually get allowed to do it, but they will send you an objection if they have an objection. If they don't have an objection, they'll give you your clearance, and your show's good. You definitely, if you're doing an open air show, you really should know about it in about a year advance, so you can make sure everything's clean. Because you have to supply coordinates and elevation and all this crazy stuff, and it's a lot of work to do. So it's best to know an open air show about a year beforehand. All right, and that's basically that's what it takes in the United States to do a laser light show, to my knowledge. And please, if any of you laser guys are out there right now and you say, oh wait, this is wrong, he needs to fix this, tell me, please. I want the right information out, and I want to make it easy and accessible. But yeah, you gotta read this. I'll put everything here in the description with time. With time meaning that I might not do it instantly, but it will be up there in time. It may be up there by the time you're watching this, who knows. But variance, show reports, annual report is basically the 3 things you really need to worry about, and reading this is going to help you out a lot. Thank you for watching. This has been one of the more instructional videos and legal issues that I've talked on before, and you know what's kind of ironic? I can't even sign a contract legally. Practice and enjoy.